Hello everybody, Elijah here, and it is a balanced preview day. Boy oh boy, I'm excited for this developer's notes only because I have already gone through it, and this is definitely something for the aggro and cleave players. Before we get into this, please remember to like and subscribe, and also comment down below what hero you are most excited for when it comes to this balance adjustment. Little Queen Charlotte is now getting a extinction on her S3, as well as getting a change to her imprint concentration to be critical hit chance. And this is amazing. If you do so happen to have a triple S, a Little Queen Charlotte, this makes her building a lot easier, and you can be a lot more flexible with the artifacts and the build that you choose to do for her. I feel like you can make her a lot faster now. I feel as though you can put her on the limited artifact Benimaru's Tachi. That will be a really nice cheeky build that you can do there. And with her added extinction, it makes it so that she can easily deal with the very common MLU Fine who runs Holy Sack. Top Model Luluca essentially was now adjusted to where she can make a choice as to whether she wants to S3 or S2. She's no longer like pigeonholed and having to use her non-attack skill in order to get an attack up for her little extra boost of damage, and her Soulborn was moved to her S3 to essentially increase that damage for S3. I think this is nice. I don't think this really changes too much with her, more so what we'll get into later that really takes the cake when it comes to her adjustments. Requiem Roana finally got the change that we have all been waiting for, and that is she dispels one buff on her S3. Boy oh boy, this is pretty massive. This is kind of like the one thing so many people have been wanting. I know there are some Silverblade Armenta fans out there that are sitting there being like, when's my turn? When's my turn? But, you know, maybe a couple patches from now. But regardless, yes, she now dispels the buff, and this is basically guaranteed due to the fact that Requiem Roana can be built with like 300 effectiveness on average, which is insane, by the way. But she doesn't need any other stat. She doesn't need speed. She doesn't really need bulk or any type of attack. She fully is just there to debuff. If you were irritated about Jacko Cleave before, well, guess what? It just got 10 times worse with this balance adjustment. And on top of that, now that her skill can be used more than once on a turn, she is usable into MLU Fine and Politis. Boy oh boy, I'm excited to use her more. I love using Requiem Roana. It's just a funny little pocket pick, and now she's a lot more viable, so that's great. Clarissa, she got a little change. I think this is really only to deal with Wyvern, to be completely honest. I don't really think this changes anything else. Unless there's some other content that ends up coming out in the future to where this buff is more relevant, this is just more so for a Wyvern buff, if anything. This adjustment is a really nice for Falconer Kluri. This essentially makes it so that she has a purpose outside of her S3. The only reason you don't really see her anymore, at least from my understanding, is due to the fact that, you know, if she S3s, she gets 15%ed, she does nothing. She has no purpose after that, right? Now she actually has a purpose and a use, and that is resource reduction. She now can basically prevent MLU Fines and Navy Captain Landies from ever getting their S3 off, because they're going to constantly have their resource reduced over and over and over again. So that's a little bonus for Falconer Kluri, and making her a lot more usable in the current meta. Victorious Flag, being the Guild War artifact, has now gotten a little bit of an adjustment. It's more usable now. Like, you can actually use it. I feel like before it just was not used at all, but now it's usable for your RGB hero, so that's really nice. A little bit of an adjustment to a rage buff, which is awesome, to the fact that this makes it so heroes like Taeyu, Vicious Tywin, Kane, I think more as well has a rage buff. To have a little extra bit of a buff, right? A little extra 10% attack and speed when they are, you know, when they have their little rage buff. I think the speed is more so relevant for those heroes than the attack, but hey, Any little bit of damage increase is nice. And now for what I'm most excited for, the constellation adjustments. I hope they do this more often. I really think they should do this more often. I think this is an amazing thing to implement in balance updates because, again, some heroes are really held back purely due to their constellation, as some of the ones that are listed in this adjustment. So, to start things off, we have our Leo Mage Hero Awakenings. Okay, they get a little bit more crit chance, which is pretty nice, make it a lot easier for gearing for these heroes like Eternal Wanderer Ludwig as well as Roy Mustang. These are probably the most relevant ones out of these changes, but that little 7%, not 70, 7% crit chance buff is pretty massive. It makes gearing a lot easier. Now for our Virgo mages, we have Architect Leica and Calric. This is an insane change. Now they have the base speed of a unit like Conqueror Lilius, which means that they are pretty up there when it comes to speed contesters, okay? Especially due to the fact that both of these units have Ignore ER Soul Burns and they can carry their own book, so this is going to be pretty nice. Calric, I think, is somebody that I don't know if people just kind of overlooked, but he has a lot of potential, especially with his utility and debuffing capabilities with his S3 as well as with his S2. He can carry his own book to Soul Burn to Ignore ER. I think Calric is a threat that nobody's looking at. Maybe it's because he's a husbando, people don't really care about them. But boy, oh boy, this is really exciting. Especially due to the fact that I am that kind of person who would 100% build a full speed effectiveness Calric just to meme on people, because nobody will see it coming. Forget damage. Full control, full speed, he silences the entire team. Like, I think that would be amazing. I think that'll be a very fun, niche pocket pick to have. I'm excited to test it out and see if it really does work. So I'm really looking forward to this adjustment. Next we have our Sagittarius and Mages. This essentially is more so for top model Luluca than it is for Vivian. But why were people not using top model Luluca? Is because she was slow, simply put. And with her changes, she has a lot more, uses. She, as one of those kind of like pseudo openers, like, yeah, she's not going to take like the first turn a lot of the times until like a Ran or Para or something like that, but she is now fast enough that she can kind of stand her own ground and still be usable, right? 119 speed is a really nice, and it's a really good change. We also have Researcher Carrot and Adelaide, who, unless they get some, I think Carrot's fine. Like, there's too many strong blue units, that's why she's not really used. But Adelaide, unless he gets like a balance adjustment or a special change, I don't think he'll ever be used. So, but a little extra speed is cool. And last but not least, we have our Pisces mages, which I think is such an important change. I don't know why Auxiliary Lots and Hirondo had a free 35% crit chance, but yeah, giving them more speed and some bulk is definitely a lot better. Maybe Hirondo will get his very needed specialty change. Who knows? That might be something coming in the near future. But that concludes our balance adjustments, and surprisingly enough, the comments are positive. Like, people aren't mad. Yeah, there are some people that want some certain changes, like ML Haze, I know is a common one, some other things, but hey, the comments aren't like wishing death on SMILEGATE this time, which is a very good plus for the balance team. Like, this is a really nice thing. So yeah, that's going to conclude this video. Again, if you did enjoy, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know down below who is the adjustment, the hero buff that you're most excited for. You can also even speak on some of the constellation changes as well. But yeah, see you all in the next video. Peace out.